Can you start if you have done this setup?
Yes, yes. Okay, I can just start.
Yes, okay, we are good to go. So over to you, Chen. Good luck for the session.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Hello. Good evening, good morning, or good afternoon, depending on which part of the region you're from. Okay. So just briefly introduce myself. Okay, I'm Chan, or you can call me Ming. You can call me Ming Man. I'm the MVP of data platform as well as developer technologies. Okay, so I'm actually from Malaysia. Right, it's a very hot country now. It's 32 degrees Celsius. Okay, so uh, before I go further on, I also would like to thank the organizing committee, the Tech Day Pakistan, especially Anand and Saad. All right, so to having me here. Okay, so let let me just go. Okay, I will switch off my camera, so I hope you can get a bigger screen that you can see. Right, so and then before ending, I will just switch on my camera back. All right, so you can see a bigger slide and code screen. Right. Okay. Yeah, probably I think the layout won't change. No, I just stick my camera on. Okay, so today agenda, I would talk about, all right, uh, what is ML.net? Basically stand for Machine Learning .net, which is the .net platform. And also the previous speaker give you a pretty good insight of the step. So I can actually shorten the step, right? How to train, get the data ready, train the model and so on. So I can actually, so I will come to the more practical part of it. And I will tell you why you use ML.net. And I will tell you that which part is the Microsoft marketing and which part is real problem you are going to face. I'm going to tell you the machine learning, how do you actually build this one from scratch? And I also will bring you the challenge. I tell you what the challenges that we have. It's pretty scary, if you really see the challenges that I'm telling you later. So I'm going to build the whole ML.net. Right? I watched the YouTube, uh, and also I realized that there are in order to do what I'm doing here, you need to watch around 20 videos. So that's why I try to shorten the 20 videos and give you this section, and hopefully you can learn something out of this. Okay, so the last one is a real case study. I will demo and see how much time I still have to demo that to you. Right, it's a case study on oil used cooking oil collection data to use that data to predict the outcome that you have. The data, I only have around 500,000 of data, 500,000 rows. I'll show that to you, right? Okay, this is a history thing that I always like to show something like this is pretty not useful. I have been actually talking about this topic since version 1. You cannot find this in the internet anymore, actually. Every year I talk of this topic in the different version. Today is ML.net version 3. Right, I've been talking about this since .NET ML.net version 1, which is actually pretty fun. I still love this topic, right? So I will still carry on and talk about it. Okay, so what is ML.net? It is actually an open source cross-platform. What does it mean cross-platform? Meaning it run on the Penguin, the Penguin thing, right? The Linux. right? And also it run on the apple that no that not the apple that you eat, right? That apple thing, so Steve Jobs thing, right? So that is a cross platform, right, thing, right? So it's a framework, but it's built in .NET and open source and cross platform. Okay, so why actually you need to use .NET? Because you probably already use Visual Studio Code, right? A lot, or you probably use Visual Studio 2022, right? Maybe you are like me, use Visual Studio Coco.NET 2002, right? Back then, year 2002, right? So if you are the kind of the person like me, definitely you will love this ML.NET. And ML.NET will work with Python if you like the snake, the big snake, right? So the ML.NET will work with that snake as well. So you will like it. Okay, this is a marketing sentence from Microsoft, right? You don't need data science knowledge and you don't need ML experience. Good luck to you. You somehow need to know a little bit of data, right? And you somehow need to know what is regression, right? I'll show you later on, right? So those things you need to know, right? So you don't need to know in depth, but you need to know those things, right? It's not that you don't need to know at all, right? So this is a marketing sentence. Okay, so easy go to, right? Experiment. Okay, this is I agree. So you can play with it. Right? You can see this. I do a very simple thing. Taking zero cost, no cost. You can use Visual Studio 202 community version, right? So no money needed, right? You don't need to subscribe, right, and so on. But later on, when you go to production, you want to deploy to some cloud they call Azure, right? That then you are talking about money, right? So, but whatever that I'm doing here, right? You don't need money, right? You don't need money. Right? So, of course, you still need money to buy a laptop, to install Visual Studio Community Edition, right? It doesn't mean that it's zero cost, right? Right. So, even you go out and buy a cup of cola, you need, the Coca-Cola, you need a few bucks as well, right? So what I mean by free is that you need a laptop, right? So okay, okay, what is the function of ML, right? So a lot of people talk about ML, right? It's actually uh chicken and egg kind of thing. You need ML in order to do AI, right? I don't think you can do AI without ML. ML is just a subset of AI that you need to train, you need to have a data to answer your own question, right? LLM is a model, right? It's actually machine learning, right? So you need to train the LLM and so on to actually get your chat GTP, to have some answer to you when you ask, who is prime minister of I don't know, New Zealand, for example, like something like that. Okay, so okay, basically ML will have a lot of functions. Just now you have the previous talk. You're saying that supervised learning, unsupervised learning, right? So ML can actually give you the sentiment, right? When somebody say something, then they say that this sentence is bad. This sentence is fine, it's fair, and this sentence is actually good, right? And you can actually predict a price prediction, right? That's how you say the price. What is the price of diamond? This exactly. I will teach you how to predict the price of diamond, right? People like diamond, right? So especially lady, if you have a wife, you have a girlfriend, then they actually like this diamond kind of thing, right? Now, so okay, this is a machine learning workflow. Okay, and the first part is that you need to get the data, right? Where to get the data? I can tell you this is the hardest part in machine learning. And this is a harder part for you to start your journey in AI as well. right? Somebody to mark me if I'm wrong, right? So data is the hardest thing that you can get. After you get the data may not be useful. Why I circle the data, prepare the data in yellow. I'll go a little bit on in detail on that part and tell you how to fix the data before the data can be used. I will not spend a day to teach you, but I'll teach you the example of it. Hopefully you can get the idea and get started. And okay, then you train the model. That's where you train the model, and that's where you evaluate the this all model training under model training. Then you how do you consume the data, right? I'll try to build a sample end to end in front of you, the sample, and you can actually get that source code from GitHub. I put it in on GitHub. I give you the link later on to GitHub. Right? If I forget to do that, stop me and don't let me go. No. Don't let the event cross. Right? So I will give you the link. Right? So you will get actually the sample that I built, and you can build the same or you can build it differently. It's up to you. Right? So okay, this is a part from 2019, right? 2019 is already, you can see the budget, right? This is from Microsoft, right? So the second point I found it myself, this point I actually found it from Microsoft, right? Is 28.5 billion spent in ML projects, right? But it's only 22 of the companies using ML successfully, right? That is 2019. I got the data. The link down here you see, there's very small link. It's actually the data I got it this data from, right? So it's called something. It's a journal, right? So it's survey that they've done, right? It's actually quite. You see the highlight, right? 43%. 43% of the data scientists say that 80% or more fail to deploy, right? They have the concept, right? There's always, oh, I know how to do, right? I have the concept. Do the first part training the data gone done, no? So don't know how to put it in the business application. Oh, sorry, I don't know. I only know how to do the data science. I don't know how to do business application. Have anyone of you heard of it or familiar with the sentence? Right, the data scientist or some of the guy in your company is telling that I can only train the model. After training the model, I don't know what to do. Okay, so I don't know whether you heard of those things, but this is something common that I believe you heard of it. Okay, I believe you heard of it. So that is a thing. So 80% actually fail, right? And only 32 say that no the model is deployed. Meaning 100%, 32% deployed. It's better, slightly better than 2019, from 22% to 32%, right? Yeah, there's an improvement. So continue to improve that, right? So the AI and ML is not, they won't become just a story, right? 20 years to 30 years ago, if you are in the IT line as long as I do, because I'm in the IT line for 36 years this year. I started in 1989, right? So when people talk about AI back then, they say you must know Pollock programming language. If you don't know Pollock programming language, then you go back home. So then again, the Pollock, I don't know where is the Pollock today, but that's where you go, right? I just give you an example. So I believe this is the third wave of the second wave, the third wave of the AI. I believe it will be better because technology can do better. Then you have quantum computing coming. I believe that this time it will be more successful than 20 over years, 30 years ago when people talk about AI, right? So AI is not a new topic. Okay, AI is not a new topic that, right? So AI has been a while, right? 20 years ago, right? So okay, let me just continue. Okay, now it takes a long time to deploy. Okay, so a lot of people will say, I want to build a very perfect application, right? When the moment you deploy the application, everybody already resign, right? So that's a real story, right? That's the real working environment and story, right? So and also that also machine learning equal to your code, right? You need to write code, right? So if you scale the right code, low code and no code, I think you may be able to achieve that, but likely pretty hard to do that. Okay, so you need to do that. Okay, so let me just move on. Okay, so this one you can find it from the Microsoft uh, website, I believe. But it's a major step. It's a very important step. This fourth step is just to complete to train the model. Okay, that's what I'm telling you. Okay, right. So the first step is that now the AI system is built using the machine learning and other technique. Read that carefully. It's from Microsoft website. I'm not the one writing this. So in order to build the AI, you need a machine learning, right? So machine learning is the model created by the studying pattern in your data, right? So and so on. I don't want to read, but you can actually find it somewhere. Okay, so now, okay, so I will want to ask this question. There's not no, I don't think I can see my audience responding. I think, but anyway, can we predict the data without using a computer? That's my question, right? I can't see anybody answer. There's disadvantages of virtual. Okay, so the answer is actually yes, right? So before I tell you how to do it using a computer, let me just show you that how you do it. You don't need computer to do prediction, but computer is just do the same way. Then why you need the computer? Let me tell you, right? So, okay, diamond, right? You can see I have a data there, right? I want to buy 1.8 carats diamond, but I don't know what is the price, for example, right? I don't know 1.8 carat, I don't know what is the price. I also got it from one of the very good speakers, actually, this part of it, okay? I can't remember the name, but anyway, so I have around 20 data points. This is data point, right? You call it data point. If you don't even know this is called data point, then please don't do machine learning, right? So this is the data point, right? So you have the data point. You know that 1.01 is 7,300 is USD, yeah? Right? And so on, right? So tell your girlfriend it's not cheap to get a diamond for you if you really get one for them, right? So anyway, so you have a list, right? Your left hand side is the carats, right? How heavy, right? Is how big is your diamond, and the right hand side is how expensive is the diamond, right? So can you predict 1.8 or 1.7? Let's see. From this data point, right? At first, this row, right? The carat, how heavy is the thing? You draw a line, right? You draw a line, right? This is the x-axis, right? X-axis. So you draw another line. Then you know somebody okay, I will draw another line for the price, right? So this is the price, right? So you draw a line, x-axis, the y-axis, and then you start taking the first point. First point is 1.01 is somewhere here, right? Okay, hopefully my line is not too tiny for you to see. Okay, so can I make it bigger? I'm not too sure. Yep, right. You can see a line here, right? So this is the line, right? This guy is the line here, right? So okay, so you draw a line. This is for first point only, eh? Then you draw a price is around 7,000 something, right here, right? So you have 7,000 something, right? You have a heavy line. So you will do this continuously doing this for the 20 over data point, right? So it's the first point, this is first point, yeah? So you're going to do the rest of it, right? It will looks like this, right? It will look like this, right? It looks like this. Okay, now, so what happened? Then I will do a line which crosses to all the dots. I believe you learned that in your so-called year 8 or year 9 of your school, but the teacher just simply didn't tell you why you need to do that, right? So that is basically a regression, right? So then now, right? Now what can I do? I can actually do the you can see that now I want to have a 1.7, 1.8. and draw a line here. Then I will draw a line to mix this line. Then I will know that no, when my 1.8 carat is roughly around 8,000, right? 8,000, somewhere 8,000, right? By my data point, right? So it could be wrong, it could be right. It's prediction. Then I will find some buffer, right? Is this range? It's from 10,000 all the way to 5,000 something. Okay, so this is prediction. Then you will ask me why you need a computer to do that if I can do it by hand. Hello, if you do this by hand, right? 20 point, you're going to draw it, really going to draw it, it's around 20 minutes. If I have 1 million data point, right, how many minutes do you have to draw this, right? So you need a computer to do that for you, right? Okay, so now, okay, this is a typical Microsoft example, right? So I built this for you, right? It's because I don't think you can download it somewhere for this sample. So I built it for you, including the front end. So you can have that. So you have to predict taxi fare, right? In the trip, if you go around New York City, for example, going around your town and so on, right? So let me just, now is show time, right? The first part I want to do is the ML, right? So let me start something called Visual Studio, right? Visual Studio, right? So I will move the Visual Studio. I should start it early, but anyway, it's not too late. Okay, now this is Visual Studio. So you can see I actually built a lot of sample for you. I built 6 sample for you. I used 3 sample for this event, and I think I can only show 2 sample. But anyway, I show you how to do. Okay, you firstly create a project. Okay, I create a console project here, right? Don't use .NET Framework. .NET Framework cannot do that anymore. You have to use .NET 5 and above. Now it's .NET 8. .NET 9 probably will come out this November, right? November this year, right? But before that, now it's .NET 8. It's a long-term support. So you go and next, I will say, okay, I will call this guy, right? I put a name for the project. I call ML temp, right? So I go step by step, right? You can actually, if you have a machine, if you have Visual Studio 2022, right? Then you can actually follow me if you want to, right? So you click next, right? So I will use the version 6, right? It's a bit small, right? Maybe I want to do this. I probably want to do this, right? Let's just add some. So this is not AI, but this is called spec, right? So, this is maybe look better. So to look at the screen. So this is a 6, right? So I want to, you see, can go to 5. Don't ask me what is our support, long-term support, and so on. Look for those long-term support if you can, right? Standard term support, try to avoid. Our support, don't use. Okay, so I can't think I can use 8. Use 8. So I'll go next. If you, somebody let me know if you can see too small and so on. Oops.
So thank
The
you
screen actually
for being
come
a
back
part of this.
here, right? Let me bring it over.
And
Yep. So you actually
so,
come up with something like
yeah,
this for
this
you.
recording.
Hello, all right. Ignore that, right? So, okay. After you have a console, right? After you console, this demo you can actually find it somewhere else as well. I right click, okay. Right click the console project. I will say add, right? And I will say add a machine learning model. Machine learning model, that's what, right? When they always train your model, you need a model for machine learning AI, that is a model, right? So machine learning model, right? So is it, wow, this one is why it's called like this. Actually, this is Microsoft Visual Studio program. The thing is actually here, right? ML.NET. But they just don't move to here. They just have so you don't see it, right? So you scroll down, you will see actually you are creating a ML.NET. Okay. So you add this guy here. Once you click add, okay. Okay. So throughout the whole day, I think okay. There are some. They're supposed to have some picture. Right? I don't know what happened to the ML team. Right? Sometimes it came up, sometimes it doesn't. Depend on your screen resolution and so on. Right? But anyway, uh, I will do a value predict. Okay, I won't do a data classification. Remember just now I said the sanity, um, of your sentence and so on. That is actually called data classification, right? Recommendation is what they will recommend, like products, right? Sometimes you go and buy something like from Amazon and so on. Like in Malaysia, you have something called Shopee, then they will actually recommend you other products, right? So that is recommendation, right? Forecasting, you need a range, like your weather, right? How tomorrow, how high is your weather? How hot is the temperature and how cold is the temperature? That is the uh forecast, right? Forecasting. You will have all the way go down to your text classification and also sentence simulation. So you cannot, if you can actually check the plagiarism by yourself, right? You can, I believe then you don't need to look for a plagiarism engine out there, right? So it is very fun. I like to do this actually, but today I'm not going to show you this. I love this one. It's very fun to play. Very nice to play with, right? Uh, but this is today. I think my time is enough for you to do, for me to do the value in order to build to end for you. Okay, now you can either use the local CPU. I don't know. I just say local CPU. I don't want to complicate myself. Then you say next step, right? Okay. I don't know why recently you cannot connect to your server, SQL server. Trust me, right? I can show it to you. I hope if Microsoft, there are some Microsoft people, see, I click this guy, there's no response sometime, right? It should actually change, right? But anyway, I just forget, right? Just use the text file, right? So I downloaded the data, right? If you don't have the data, right? If you don't have the data, you can click this link, right? How do I get the sample data? You click this link, right? Then there are some browser open. Then you can actually see the sample data here. This way you can start learning, right? I'm actually using this one for you, right? Before I go to the real case study, real life thing that I'm going to talk about, right? I give you the standard thing that you can actually play every day, which is here, actually play training. Okay, so you click this guy, okay? So if I click this one, you see I see empty, right? This one you cannot. All right, this is a bug that I found recently, 2 weeks ago, right? So you have no way to do that to make it come out, right? I think you have to go back here and you have to come back here and click again. Don't have, right? So never mind. I have to close this guy. I still save it. Okay. Don't ask me. This problem you have to ask uh your Mr. Microsoft. Uh, okay. So now you see. Okay, I go back to here. If you will definitely hit the same problem as what I do. If you use it today, they are fixing the bug, right? They are fixing the bug. Then then you ask me how do you know they are fixing the bug? Yes, I don't dare to upgrade because I'm scared that once I update it, right, it actually give me worse problem that I am facing. So I don't update it. Actually, you can go to the extension. You go to the manage extension. You see the update. You see .NET model update. So I don't want to update that because I don't want everything that is broken, right? What I built for you guys, right? So I already know the problem. I don't know how to fix it for now. So I fix it first. I use the workaround, right, without giving a nightmare for myself, right? So okay, so I go back to the data this round. You can okay, see the drop down will actually come out. Right, I can take myself some time to struggle all these things. Okay, so I pick the fare because I have to predict the fare, right? The fare amount. I pick the fare amount, and then I don't want the vendor ID and red code, right? I don't want that, right? I don't want that. So just say I ignore this guy. I will ignore this guy. You remember to save, You click cancel, then if you don't, you forget to save, you come back to like this. So this is incorrect. So you have to remember to click save. You ignore this guy, you ignore this guy, then you save, right? Okay. So next step, because the data you see here, 10,000 is not that many rows. So you only need to take 10 seconds, right? So the model that I have to build half a million, you will recommend 10 minutes, not 10 seconds. So 10 seconds, I can still afford to do it live for you to see. So I click the start. Right, once I click the start, you will see that some way, somehow, here, pay attention to here, right? Okay, you have some fast forest regression. Okay, how many percent? What is the duration? You have a light GVM. Then you will ask me, hey, uncle, what the heck is that, right? So I tell you, don't worry. I'll tell you what is that later, right? Uh, Perhaps I'll tell you now. Okay, so now, what are those things? This thing, right? What is all this thing here, right? This is actually right top five model, right? So how do you change that? You click here, advanced training option, right? So you must know, right? If you have negative, please don't use these two. If you don't have negative figure, then you can use these two, right? So this why I say it's not that entire thing that can ignore. You may not be able to ignore everything. And then what are those things? Those things actually is not it's not something very complicated, but it's not another topic by itself that you need to learn it. Sorry. What are the differences? You see the line regression prediction. This is what I just taught you how to do exactly. You look the same, you look something similar, right? So that is what it is, right? So it's called R square. Okay, it's called R square now. Okay, I don't have a water here. So okay, so I am using R square, right? And not yet though. So beside the R square, you can see the trends here, trainers here. Those here is where you see, right? This is here. You see what fast, forestry, fast tree, see or not? It's here, right? So not click, 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 and okay, come up. But that's why this way you can actually adjust. Okay, now so I better make it fast. Okay, I click next. Okay, so this is a value. It's the good thing about this ML.net is that smartly they give you some value to predict. Just try and see whether your model work or not, right? And somehow your model works. So with this data, if predict is your $6.83. Okay, so now I can move to the next step, right? Next step. Okay, the next step. This is how you can. Okay, so console application is pretty not friendly. I put a web API, right? So now this is the first step you've done. So let me just go back to my slide a bit, right? If I go back to my slide deck, hold on. If I go back to my slide deck, okay, this part you have done, right? I've done a demo for you as well. So now we come to this part. You need a web API, okay? This is the second part. I'm going to do a demo for you, right? So it's actually continuous, right? So now you can see the solution here. You only have one project, one solution and one project, right? So you actually add the web API. I just use the default name. Magically, when I add it, magically you will actually go into this is what Microsoft good at all the time. From BB6, if you know what is BB6, okay? BB4, Visual Studio 4, if you know what is that. If you don't know what is that, never mind. Okay, so you have a model here, right? Then I say, oh, happily. So how to run? Right? Microsoft didn't tell you how to run, right? Right? Where do you have to find out how to run? If you click the run button, if you click the run button, oh, happily, I have a web API. I can click the run button. What happened? Let's see. Right? You will actually pop up, hello world for you, right? So it's not going to go anywhere for you. So what happened? So you need to. The easy way is you right click this guy, set it as a start up project. Okay, so by here, I click again, it actually will launch a web API for me, right? Hold on. It take a while to run. Give it around 1 minute. I still have 20 minutes. Hopefully I have enough time to build everything for you on the spot. Let me do a big. Okay, so now I have this one, right? Okay, this is the default behavior. Then you say what Microsoft like to me, you say this web API I added in, but the web API give me an error. But the Microsoft didn't tell you. Microsoft didn't tell you have to do this. Okay, you put a trigger there, then it's here, right? Okay, so you need to actually put a. You can see the value here. You need to put a figure here and try whether it is okay, right? So I think I'm a bit out of time. I'm not going to do that. Directly, I'm going to build another uh thing for you, right? So this one you're done. Now you have a web API, right? You have a ML, you have a web API. Then you need a front end, right? You cannot ask your end user to use this thing, right? For your application, right? You cannot ask your end user or your boss to use this screen to actually work. You need actually to write a simple program for them, right? So let me just quickly write a simple program for you on the spot, right? So I start another Visual Studio. Again, I create a new project. Everything is live. Right? It doesn't work. It doesn't work. So I don't choose. You can actually use a web app, but I want you to run in the back end. Blazor. So in order to get a business application, to do a business application with your machine learning, you do need some knowledge on the stack, your software stack, which is your .NET stack, right? You cannot say I just want ML, then it will just work. It doesn't work that way, right? So I go to next again. I just simply call it the ML again, right? So I just create this. Okay, I'm not too sure why the server app. I can tell you very frankly, I don't know why it doesn't support 8 yet, right? So it's 7 is latest. I use 6, right? I use 6, and I just can create. You actually go and create and Blazor app for me, right? I think I just feel barely have enough time, so hopefully I can see you if you have any question. Okay, now, all right. So this is if you play with Blazor, you will be very familiar with this, right? So I just want to say that I modified this guy called counter, right? I don't want this guy called counter, right? So I want this guy called call API, right? Call API, right? So I just copy my code snippet that I have prepared for you, right? And just put it here, right? If I have time, I explain this guy to you. So you need, okay, the first thing is I call the API. You can see 4956, 49856. It doesn't work because you have to change, right? Because you have to check what is the API here. The API here is 5057705, right? So all these things you need to, even copy and paste, you need to actually know how to modify them, right? So the port is a different port, right? Then I actually pass in, the passengers, everything, right? So you will see it's actually the same as the model here. What they are doing when you remember, you come back to here, these are the information. So I'm just writing an application and pass in this application. Sorry, this information, right? So and then I need to actually change a little bit of my interface. I think this guy is no called counter. This guy is called core API, right? API, and this guy is say call my ML API, right? So okay, done. So okay, finger crossed. Say good luck to me. So I will now run this guy Blazor app. Okay, I'll run this Blazor app and error. Sorry, what happened? So you say error. Oh. So this guy, see, that's why it's not. You have some error. So a lot of times people want to preview. I think I can resolve it within seconds. So I don't want to preview. Okay. So I do it live for you. I get this guy that I miss. I add in the new gate, right? You can type. People like to type new gate. You can directly type it, right? So for me, I don't. So the beautiful of the Visual Studio is that you can see here error, right? You click this guy will actually give you this. You actually can use this guy and voila, and then run again. See, haha. Now I have an app on I hopefully have an app. Okay, so I have um, oops, huh? See, I call API, right? So I'll say a restaurant is 0. So I just click this guy. See, with the prediction is 41. So the data I passing is slightly different, right? I say this is a credit card, this is a mileage, this is a thing, and so on. So then you have a business application, a website, right? You have a website that can actually call your ML. Uh, okay, you have a website that can actually call your ML. Okay, so that is the full end-to-end application, right? You will call it business application. This one, okay. So this is a demo, right? So okay, I bring you to the case study, the real one, right? So the how do you predict? Okay, so actually I'm in a company that collecting used cooking oil, recycle company, right? So in order to do that, right, I need to actually build. I want to know that what is the time, what is the date, that how many oil, how many kg of oil by that particular moment, date and time. All my truck go out, I will get how many kg, right? Kilogram, right? So let me stop this guy. I stop this guy, right? I just close it, okay? I'll show you where to get the sample, right? You don't have to worry about how to get the sample. I'll show you how to get the sample. And this session is recorded, right? So you can see how I build again. You come back and see how I build again. You can say that, oh, you are lousy, I can build a better one. Please go ahead, right? So, okay, so I actually having something called pre-written, okay? I have something called pre-written, okay? I have actually built the same way. Remember, okay, just now I forgot to show you. Just now your web API is use minimal API, which is don't use controller, right? That you have to learn by yourself, right? So what is the difference between minimal API and normal web API in .NET? So I rebuilt it. I built it using a different layer. This one is a library. This one is a API, right? So if I run this guy right now, it will actually get, okay. This one I want to give it to you because this one is I use the real company data to build. So it's a sample that you can see using a real data. So I will not share this one, but I share just now the sample how I build. But you usually basically use the same way to build. You know how to build that, then you will definitely know how to build this. If you cannot build that successfully, you can forget about this. Okay, so this is a you see there's no error, right? Because I modify it, right? Because I build it, so there's no error, right? So okay, so then I have a blazer here. Again, you can see the same way. So I just run this guy. I need this value, so I just copy this guy. I run this guy. I run it, and you can see the same blazer app came out, right? But yeah, I modify it and make it nicer. So I just put in the time and date, right? What time and date is actually 2025. Okay, like let's say you I want today, no, third of like 11, right? 11 a.m. What is the amount of oil that I will get, right? If I call this one, they tell me, right? So you will see it's 217 kg that I will get, right? So this is a real application. This is what we can actually go by fine tune it and go to deploy in the company if you really have, right? This is a real data. But remember before, actually a few minutes ago, remember I told you the key thing is the data, right? It is actually you need to do a lot of experiment back end for your data. You see how I shared my data. I have actually, if you look at this guy, right? 68 row, no. The actually, this is for top 1,000. If I don't want to select the top 1,000, you can see that if I run this guy, I will actually, you can see the times that it run, right? It's actually almost 500,000, right? If you, this is again, I have transformed the original how many row is so many columns. Imagine if you use so many columns, you don't know how to massage your data. You use so many columns and put it inside your ML model and ask it to train, right? Then what will be the consequences, right? Good luck to you, right? So that is what I want to tell you. So you need to actually experiment yourself to change your date format, from 20, 30 columns to 3 columns, to train your data, So you must know what is a column that you want, what data format that you want, right? So it's not that something that, you don't need to know data science, you don't need to know ML, then you can actually get the thing done. You wait, you may be able to, but you try. Okay, you can see that what I have done, right? So I have actually involved data cleansing in SQL. I built the ML. I built the web API, very simple one, and I built the front end, the web front end, right? So that only you can actually complete a set of very simple business application, right? So that is what I demoed to you. So this is what I demoed to you. I trained the model using the amount of data that I have, which is almost 500,000. And I actually built a real one. I actually built it based on that 500,000 web API, right? And then this one, then I write a Blazor in front to actually call the API and get the data, right? So then you can tell your boss, you go to this website, you click this button, you can see what is the value, right? You cannot tell your CIO or CTO, right? Some guy like a title like me. But you see, I have to do it by myself, right? So okay, so that is a thing that you have. Okay, so now what is the takeaway in this section? Bear in mind, okay, after this session, please remember something, right? You have to start your machine learning with the right application architecture, right? You must do right way, the data. When you capture, at the moment you capture the data, you must capture in the right way, right? So you have to start your machine learning with your right database design. Okay, you cannot coming that, let's say in United States. United States, I don't know how many states you have, right? Let's say for example it's 200 states, and then your data capture 600 states. So then how are you going to do your machine? When you cleanse your data, do data cleansing, already killing you, right? You don't go for machine learning before you even reach machine learning. So you must have a right application to capture the right data, right? Your application must have already have the layer like web API. So you can actually later on when the machine learning, you can just utilize those layer, the architecture stack, right? So then you can have a application, business application, not concept, not proof of concept, or got a concept that is on the paper. It's just a model that I let your boss to see, but something that your boss can click and the value can come out, right? That is the thing, right? So and hopefully after this session, you are better understanding. You need to do some business application. Don't ML.net, just the ML.net all the while stuck in the model and cannot get out from the model, then this, right? In fact, you can call the Blazor thing AI. Yeah, I really predict it, right? So the whole AI journey, you start from machine learning. If somebody want to tell me other thing, I don't mind. Okay. So the last thing is that the resources, right? You can see that you don't have to worry about you see I started to tell you where you can actually click this one. You can actually click here. I have built more than one sample for you. I have the oldest sample, to predict diamond and so on, but it's in the console app. Today's session, I already put it in here. You can go to the Tech Day Pakistan demo, then you have the application that I built, right? So I might update it. What if the code that I updated? You also can see the look back this video and update the code if you like to, right? And another thing is that so um, here you can actually go into here. You can actually go. This is my blog. You can actually just type machine learning. There are pretty lot of the thing. Whatever that you see the code, right? I actually have a video on how to do that as well. So if you forget, you don't have the video, you can go in here and search for machine learning. You see classification, image classification. I actually have that for you. And actually, I have the step by step for you, and I also have a video for you, right? So I hope that you can actually learn something after this section, okay? And I think just kind of nice. I trimmed down my 2 hours to 15 minutes. I think I'm able to make it. And thank you very much again. Once again, thanks the organization committee, especially again Anand and also Saad people, and to have me here. And I hope all of you learn something from this section. Okay, thank you. Any question or anything?
Yes, thank you, Chen, for the insightful session. So that was very interesting to see how you use machine learning in the project. So there's a couple of questions I need to ask.
Okay,
Am I audible?
sorry.
Am I audible?
Yeah, I can hear
Okay,
you. Yeah.
so okay. So, like most of the times, students prefer to use like TensorFlow and PyTorch for the machine learning part. So, do you suggest like Visual Studio support these other frameworks too for the machine learning part as well? Other frameworks like TensorFlow and PyTorch.
Okay, okay. Good question. Actually, Visual Studio, Visual Studio Code and Visual Studio itself support Python, right? If
Okay.
PyTouch is if PyTouch is a library, I believe you can actually use the Visual Studio Code or Visual Studio. I have seen people using PyTouch and Visual Studio Code is, if I'm not mistaken, actually it's supported though.
Okay. Got it. So, you mentioned earlier, like for machine learning, first you need to identify the right database and the right architecture. So,
Correct.
like what key points you suggest for the audience to what are the key points to select the right architecture or database that sync with the machine learning they are going for?
Okay, so if you for example, if you have a date, right? So, for example, the format must be correct, right? So, a lot of people, I've seen a lot of database when they design the data type, right? So, for example, floating point, they have decimal and so on. I have seen more than I can tell you over the year, I've seen more than 30 to 40% of the database design. Don't know who designed it until today. I still see the design like that. People put date, time as string, and the number like floating point double as string. Please don't do that. That is a data governance thing, right? Please, if you do that, right, you are having a nightmare to transform the data for your machine learning. So the first thing, the data type must be correct. And the second thing, if even you go down to the decimal point, you need to correct the decimal point, right? If you need to go down, if you something that your machine learning need to train up to second blend, please capture the second of the time up to the second millisecond. If you need that, please capture that. So you must know, you must have a plan, right, from the beginning. what do you want to predict, or what do you want to classify, what do you want to forecast? So then you can actually look back to your database. If you are not the new database, then immediately change it. Or if you are a new database that you are going through the journey will reach machine learning from the beginning, please do that.
Okay,
Hope that
got
answer
it.
your question.
That's
Yeah.
yes, that's answered the question. So thank you, Chen, for answering the questions as well. So I have shared your speaker profile in the Q&A part as well. So if the audience have any further questions and they want to reach out to you, they can surely contact you over the LinkedIn as well.
Yes, again. Yeah. Thanks again, Sad, and yeah, and the organizing committee. Yeah.